Okay, let's see if this is working. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like it's all black currently. Yep, there it goes. All right, so that's looking pretty good on my end. I got the chat pulled up. Welcome to the Rome Remastered training stream. I've got 2 hours with you guys to sit here and figure out the best ways to beat my opponent in Rome Remastered. This isn't just any opponent. This is specifically Monsters Abound. Is this currently on private? Nope, it's set to public. That's good. So if, as you're watching this, you have any moments where you're like, wow, this isn't working at all, please make sure to tell me, post it in chat. I am looking at it over there. So, yeah. If the volume is also wonky, let me know, because I am going to have to adjust this stuff as it goes. So I'll be sitting in Rome Remastered here for a couple minutes. If you have Rome Remastered, pop on. This is live. So I'm actually hosting a custom battle. You'll see it named Cody Bond's YouTube. Host the custom battle, pop into it, and you should be go. Let's go to Gallic countryside. British countryside looks nice. Nice, lovely grasslands right there. Now, it's a funny thing. When you get in there, you actually know it works because there'll be a little person pop up on the right over here, so don't be surprised if you see that. So we'll give people a couple minutes to pop in and, yeah, see how it's going so far there. And hello to you all on this fantastic Wednesday morning. Sort of weird to say, hey, we got to sit here and wait for a minute, but that's the reality of multiplayer. Sometimes you got to wait for the battles. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. So I'll go and go over my presets while we wait for someone to pop in. So the thing is, we're supposed to be doing a battle, right? Okay, anyone can do a battle. I'm only going to be using historical formations. You can't be on a team called the History Boys, and I'm on a team with Lionheart to do this without using actual historical formations. So every battle I'll be doing today is using an actual historical formation as best as I can recreate it inside of Rome Remastered. So when you see them, I'll be explaining how they're put together. I'll be explaining sort of how they use them historically and all that, and I'll do my level best to fight with that. Now, the limitations are that it has to be 10,000 gold, and I think the unit settings have to be large or huge. I'm not sure which. We're just going to fudge that for now. But beyond that, that's one that you can mess with. If you don't have it installed, it's quite a large install. Rome Remastered, I think, is like 50 gigs. It's pretty pricey as far as space goes. But, you know, it looks good, and that's what you get for it. All right, so we'll give people another minute here. If nobody pops in, we'll do a custom battle against the AI until some people can join in and you know, play against real opponents. It's funny because I played against a real opponent 2-3 days ago and had a great time. And it's funny because it's been so long since I've played. Yeah, 70 gigs is nuts. It's been so long since I've played against a person that it really threw me off in a way. And I learned some stuff really quickly. One of the rules for the tournament, though, is you can only use Rome once. Which, to be fair, there's like 4 Roman factions and they're identical. So you kind of have to, you know, find a way around that. So this is the Triple Achis, which is the Roman Republic before it became sort of the Legionaries. And the best I could do to sort of recreate that. If you're not aware, it's the entire concept of the Roman battle line is they're going to punch through you with infantry. There's not a lot of hammer and anvil happening. And that's actually true for a couple of the formations you'll see today. But Triple Achis specifically has a Velite screen, which I hated Velites when I played this game initially, and I'm really bad with this formation, I'll admit to you guys now. So, you know, it's just one of those unfortunate bits that, you know, you do what you have to, but it is the actual historical formation. Now, we might try and do the later Roman Auxilia formation where you get, like, the true legionaries with the with their big armor and all that kind of fun stuff, throwing pylums, but you'll notice that they are exceedingly expensive compared to just your basic guys. You know, these are 1220 versus a Hastati or a Triarii, which is the best of the old type, is 500. So the numbers you can field definitely make a big difference here. To anyone watching today, by the way, at some point during this week, Monsters Abound is going to stream. And when he does, I need you guys to spy on him. I'm going to spy on him. There is no prize for this tournament, which means you're just playing for pride. and I refuse to lose because of that. So sabotage him, right? I need as much information as possible about what he is bringing so that I can build something specifically to counteract that. I want no surprises, right? I mean, the first rule of warfare, especially in Total War, is, you should know you're going to win the battle before you fight it. And so I'm not above skullduggery, to say the least. All right, well, it looks like people are taking a bit to install it, so if you're not, that's fine. We'll go back, we'll do a custom battle for right now, and then, yeah, go from there. So, I think it's new game, custom battle. Yep, in the multiplayer session for now. Let's check just to make sure. Hey, hello there, everybody. Thanks for saying hi online. Yeah, so if you guys do happen to have it installed, that'd be awesome. I can definitely play with you, but if not, no worries. It's funny because I was sitting here for, I don't know, probably about 30 minutes the other day. And like I said, the one guy that I did get in a game with, we played 3 or 4 in a row. And it's just a random dude. It's super nice. It was just really fun to kind of connect with people in that old way, like the old list servers. Anyhow, I'll give it a couple minutes. We'll go on. We'll just do a basic AI battle really quick. But the AI is pretty good in this game, considering it's not messing with as much as you'd think it would be. Experimentation. Why not? I think I have that on the older settings. Yep. No. I think I can just exit them. House of Brutii, Carthage. We'll let him just roll a random army there. So one thing you'll notice is it immediately rolls something with high chevrons. So it is really... Oh, I have the gold set way too high. That would do it. Let's go back into the default 10,000. And yeah, there we go. You'll notice they don't do full 20 stacks here. And it's one of those where you'd think, oh, overwhelming numbers are really important. But let me show you what it looks like when I load in just basic Rome here. And what you're going to find out is that the stats make a big difference in the units in this game. And also historically, let's be honest here. So if you have your Hastati, right, your Hastati have morale of 6, defense of 14, right? Those are the 2 stats that really matter. It's how long they can stay there, right? Infantry can attack a lot in this, but these are obviously not meant to be like super heavy. So Hastati are 6 and 14. So we'll go up 1 to the Principes, 6 and 16. And then morale of 10, defense of 17. So these aren't huge increments, but compared to something like the Town Watch, morale of 2, defense of 7. So you're getting double the amounts in some of these for, not double the price. And when you see the battle happen, you're going to find out that the amount of staying power is extremely important. It's going to be tough against Carthage here. And you'll notice I'm trying to min-max it to as close as the correct number as possible. All right, we're going to start the battle. But one of the first things I learned when playing against a human opponent, though, is I don't know why I've always done this. I've been playing this Total War since Medieval 1, I think. I didn't play the first Shogun. I didn't care about Japanese history at the time. But I should have stayed for the general speech. I forgot they're there. Right. So the first thing you'll notice is it's pretty spread out initially. Like you always think, oh, this is really wide. It's not. I always got the idea that you should stretch your line as far as possible to encompass the enemy. But it is very much defense in depth when it comes to this game. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit here where we're going to keep these guys just as is. That's fine. We'll do our Triarii all together. You notice you got 4 of each right here. So the idea is there's supposed to be 3 different lines. So we have our Triarii, and this should be our Principes, and they are. And then the Hastati, and then ahead of them are the Velitae, right? Which we're going to actually make them a little more mobile by getting them closer together. So those long strung out lines, the game takes longer to turn the people, so you have to think about that for a moment. And we're going to get them a little closer right there. I didn't realize this was a hill map. Whatever. Hate hill maps. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in Rome in Medieval 3, so I'll have to deal with it here. You'll notice I pressed G to group everyone together and locked the formation, so whenever I move them now, they stay in formation. Really handy tip if you're not aware of how that one works. That is the general. I don't want him on the flank. I want to keep him in the center. Let's put our cavalry on each side. And general here. That's there. These guys are here. I kind of want to move everybody forward. I know it sounds weird, like positioning so important in this game, but it really is. Oh, God, that was not the right thing to click. using a windowed mode right here, so it kind of throws everything off. Yeah, there we go. All right. So it's going to want us to try and take that hill. You know what? Let's not take the hill. Let's just let them sit there. Let's just screen as much as we can and go from there. So yeah, this is entirely based on how many missiles you can throw at your enemy. It's a really weird formation, but that's just how the Romans did it. So I need to actually give a little bit of space here so that once the Hastati get in, the Principes can be right behind them throwing their stuff. And it's weird to do it that way, but the Romans, this is a really bad map to actually show this on. I may have to do another one so you get the idea. Hi there. Doing well over there. Yeah, we're getting our first one in. So what do we have? Elephants. Got to watch out for those elephants. So the Velites are very good against elephants. In general, elephants, you don't want to fight them in melee. You want to just whack them with something ranged. That's going to be your best bet here. I should point out, not to brag, I'm going to brag a little bit, that every battle I did before on the multiplayer, I won. And I was really excited about that because I really haven't done multiplayer in this game in, gosh, 15 years. So that was, it made me feel rather good about myself. Yep. Come on. So yeah, you use the Velites to sort of annoy everybody until your main army can get close. And then once they're close, you can engage with everybody else. So we're going to get everybody sort of close enough here to be able to do something. I want them to stop at the top of the hill. Get our Triarii up at the top. Are there rules for the clash? Yeah, so you can only use 10,000 limit. You can only use Rome once, so I got to try some different formations here. Luckily, I have them, which I'm excited about. And I think it's dry battle, rain battle, fog battle? Sounds right. This Onager is going to be completely useless this whole battle. Shoot. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of hill maps for reasons like this. All right. So we got our guy around the back here. So we're going to harass them. Make sure they don't turn fast enough. They're already turning. No. All right, yeah. That's the Stati, so they should be able to get in there. All right, Velites on them. Yeah, so the elephants really don't like that, and that's fine. So the Roman cavalry, at least in this period, are not hammer and anvil. They're very much, oh man, yeah, they turned too quick. See, they turned, and so we got into the spearmen there, and it just got us a little too quick. So let's instead go over here and harass their guys. Jeez Louise. Okay. So, yeah, not going well because of that hill. I didn't account for a hill. That's the honest answer. And you'll notice the Triarii aren't doing a heck of a lot at the moment. They're sort of just there to wait until the time comes when everybody else is kind of running away. It sounds weird not to bring them in until the end, but stamina makes a big difference on that one. So funds really benefit pike factions, missiles, and cap. So they benefit pikes, kind of, right? Because when I do the Greek factions in a minute, you'll see that the tiers make a big difference when it comes to how much you can and can't do. I actually like my Greek formation better than my Roman one. My Roman one's by far my worst formation here. Okay, those guys are rampaging. That's good. Actually, looks like we're doing pretty well so far. Yeah. Enemy general's routing. That's good. Yeah, those elephants. You'd think elephants would be really good, and then you take them into battles, and you're suddenly just getting drilled. You'll notice the further the battle goes on, though, it just evolves into giant blobs here, and there's not a lot to be done about that. It's just one of those things that sort of happens in games like this. You know, you start off with these really nice formation. Eventually, it's like blob left, blob right, and hoping that you get everybody sticking together here. So this is what's happening, though, at the moment that we got to watch out for. So this is where the Roman flexibility comes in, because these guys have to stay in a nice, sharp line. My guys do not. So we're going to get our guys right over here. So he is only useful, and, you know, he's effectively holding back my guys. We cannot go through the front of this. It's not going to happen here. So, boom, hit him on the side there, hit him in the back, whatever you need to do. You know, their formation instantly crumples because it's, you know, based around having those pikes forward. Really nice to just sort of do that. You'll notice we still have plenty of units in reserve over here. So not a lot to worry about yet. Where's my general? Oh, hey, you're just chasing people off the map. Yeah, good job, man. You keep doing that. Keep chasing these light cavalry here. And yeah, that's really what they're there to screen and do. Just make sure people don't ever really mob your guys and keep everything pretty much moving. Especially in the Greek formations, you're going to find out that, yeah, armored hoplites are solid. They really are. In fact, when you see it, the militia hoplites, and especially some of the militia pikemen, are just worthless. Like, their morale is so low that they can't hold a line. Versus some things like the Spartans, which are very cool, and I do love the Spartans. And we have a Spartan formation that I'm going to show off here in a minute that I really love. Victory! Victoire! Mangua! Awesome. Right. So I just want to point this out to anyone watching right now. I actually took the time yesterday to completely repaint and refinish my helmet just for this battle and coming in with you guys today. And then what I found was I don't have any contacts anymore. Somehow my contacts have disappeared through the years. And I can't put the helmet on with glasses because the way it's built, your nose actually goes up under here like this. So if I turn sideways, you'll see what I mean, right? So your nose actually projects forward. So there is no room for glasses at all. So, I mean, I can fight like this, that's fine. But I can't see anything. So we're just going to have to do it like the Greeks did. There's a lot of statues, and I said this previously, where this helmet, where they have the helmet pushed back like this. Because otherwise you just, stuck on your face all day. You can't do much of anything. So, yeah, actually, let me see if I can squeeze him in. Yeah, not going to happen. Whoa. Okay. I tried. I should go down on record to saying I did try, though. Whoa. Didn't scratch the crud out of my glasses either, so we're going to call that a win. I actually ordered new glasses and was excited to use them for the stream today, and they didn't fit. So I just sent them back, which is incredibly lame. All right, let's do this again. So a lot more people on right now, so if you have Rome, snap goes the glasses. I'll tell you about that while I'm waiting for this battle here. So Cody Bond's YouTube, maximum of 2. If you guys can join, do. Again, I'm going to wait like a minute or 2 right here, and while I'll tell you about my glasses. I have been wearing glasses since I was 10, probably, and I've broken a lot of glasses, and so now, generally, I use nylon glasses with polycarb lenses or high index. Actually, polycarb messes with my eyes. I actually use high index. But you'll notice that it's super flexy. I never pay more than about $40 for glasses. I got little kids. I've broken so many pairs in my life. I'm just like, I just don't pay money for glasses anymore. I make sure the prescription's right and then go on with my happy little life. I lost some in the Mediterranean Ocean at one point. That was fun. First time I'd been in the water, the entire time. I have to click continue, duh. And a wave hit me and just my glasses came off at the start of a trip. I was like, I'm going to be blind for 2 weeks in Europe. This is really going to suck. First European vacation I've had and can't see anything. All right, we'll go to the Spartan formation here. Spartan 1. Right. So, thing to know about the Spartan formation. This is really light cavalry. Cavalry is not the point of this formation. The point of this formation is to push you, right? But not just to push you on one flank. This is taken from the Battle of Plataea, which comes after Thermopylae, right? And obviously not the naval battle. So you have a bunch of just sort of mixed good and bad hoplites. So these guys have morale of 2, defense of 8. Can't depend on them for jack. These guys have morale of 8, defense of 22, but they're also triple the cost. Spartans are 7, this one's obviously upgraded right there. They're 1190. They're even more expensive. So you really want to make sure that sort of intersperse your crap with your good stuff. And then you put your best unit on the far right flank. The idea being that you're attacking the unshielded side. And I believe this game does calculate for front and then flank and then rear. And then there's an unshielded side. It does seem to know that there's a difference. So hopefully I can demonstrate that here in a minute. So feel free to hop on if you guys have it installed. 9:30 in the morning or 10 o'clock U.S. time is probably not the best time to be streaming this, but I expect a frequent audience participation. But hopefully one of you guys does install it and gets a chance to do so. I think the original Rome Remastered, the original Rome Total War game also works on multiplayer, which is only 2 gigs. So if you guys have the original Rome, I know that I saw myself when I clicked on the multiplayer for the original Rome, and I couldn't play myself because it's the same account. So that calls Steam to error out. But you guys, if any of you have Rome, just like basic Rome, you can probably see this multiplayer game and join in. And if not, let me know that too, because I've been really curious about that, but obviously can't test it on my end. Dropping militia hoplites for more upgrades. Okay, so militia hoplites 230, and I think it's like 200 per upgrade. So it takes it armor up by a tier. So the melee attack goes from 16 to 17. So you get one extra melee attack for the cost of roughly 120. So not cross compatible. Lame. All right. So the other thing is just having enough people on the field. You know what? I do kind of want to drop someone, though, just to put some extra stuff on this one unit to make them just ever so beastly. So it gives me 330. So, yeah. So if we take that to gold, we can do the next level of weapons on them as well by dropping a militia hoplite. It's just, you know, that it should theoretically just eat through that right flank if we do this right. And then we'll give them an extra level of, and you'll notice what the, when you put in the chevrons of experience, how much that gives them. So it actually increases melee attack, alternate attack, and total defense. In fact, it may be worth it just to give them a chevron instead. Yeah, we'll try that. All right. Better to have good units stay than to fight crappy units break and waste money off. Yeah, exactly right. So, well, partly. I'm going to argue against that a little bit here. I was going to hopefully show you in a battle with someone, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right. We'll go back. We'll do the basic battles again. I keep popping in right there, so hopefully one of you guys will get a chance to install it and do it in a minute here. New game, custom battle. So the thing is, there is a certain level of you need some throwaway units to either bog down the enemy or to bait them a little bit, and especially the Velites or the Peltist, whichever one you kind of want to go with right there. Perform this function astoundingly well. So they're more like a screening thing to keep them from just advancing directly into your troops. It's similar to using like Bretonnian peasants or Skaven slaves in Warhammer 3. Same basic concept right there. Like sometimes you just need to have something get in the way to stop your force from getting overrun by them ahead of time. All right, so let me load this in. I'll show you the Spartan army. And what is that gold so far? That's, yeah, because you have an extra armor, and I feel like the armor is the thing they were lacking on. That's why I did that last time. I remember there's a reason. You'll notice there's not any peltists or any screens here as well. So the early Spartans didn't really use the helots and the additional like peltists and things like that until later when they were having to fight more condensed phalanxes. Initially, it was just pretty much guys, and this works better than you think it would. So all right, we'll do this. We'll play against Rome. Playing against Rome is fun. Oh, you know, I've never actually used Arcani. I like a weird, goofy unit. So we'll try it out. Okay, there we go. Okay, missiles and peel of these units can use only 2 max. Yeah, missiles and Pila. Pila are weird in this game, and I've always thought they were odd because of how you... I love these battle speeches. Showing off all the guys. Now, this is one of... It's funny because the first mod I ever did for any game ever was Rome Remastered, or the actual original Rome Total War, because I hated the look of these Spartans so much. I was like, I'm modding this out. And Total War had an official mod to make them look more like their 450, 400 AD or BC like versions, versus here, which are accurate to the later period, where they just have a little, I think it's called the Pylos helmet, and then just cloth armor. You know, that's very much in the style later, where the shield became so much more important than anything else they were using that there wasn't a whole lot of point to having anything else. All right, so Spartans go there, Spartans go here, and Spartans go here. Right, you're like, wow, that's a lot of Spartans on one side. Yes, it is. So the Spartans typically took the right flank, or the right side of the army, and then let everybody else take a different place. The idea being that the heaviest push needed to come on the right. They would wrap the line up and then go over to the left. So by concentrating all that on one side, it sort of rolls the line. Now, ideally, that's how it's supposed to work. And then we have our little screen right here. Let's see, that's militia. Militia, definitely don't want militia on the wing. So put this guy here, move that guy down. And you sort of just make sure that you don't have giant blocks of militia stuck together, because if one person routes, obviously everybody starts to rout there. Now, that's a pretty long line. Honestly, probably longer than it's going to need to be for this. So let's put let's just start it as is. I think that's honestly good. We'll try it out. This is what I did online before, and it worked pretty well. So let's try it out. But again, the Greeks didn't do depth-based formations for the most part initially because there's not a lot of point. It's something that comes about later with Alexander, but even then it's different types of troops. So these guys are all doing the same thing here, so there's not a lot of reason to, have them do anything else. Don't need to wait to go into battle in that case. Does not Rome Master have control left click for accurate placement? I have never done control left click in my entire history, to the point that I don't even know what you're talking about. But I will definitely be trying that here in a couple minutes. Right, so our cavalry is really light and weak, and it's not here to fight. That's not what its purpose is. It's here to keep people off of my butt. Yep, dominant hand from the right. And it's honestly, we hear a lot of armies in history employing left-handed soldiers specifically to counter this. There's a biblical reference to it, which is sort of interesting, and also the Saxon huscarls employed by England going up to the Battle of Hastings. The personal guard of the king generally was left-handed. So instead of attacking with an axe from the right, they were trained to fight with an axe from the left to be able to hook and hit the unshielded side better and work in tandem. I think huscarls are fascinating, obviously. The way they fought is very interesting. Very much in a team going together. You'll notice the AI is having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out a way around us right here. Yeah, if they're just running right in the front of it, they don't know what to do. What'd they hit me with? Oh, Praetorian cavalry. Good night. Well, at least they hit the Spartans. So, could be worse. All right. You guys. So, if you want to move some people, though, really quickly, you got to take them out of this mode, out of phalanx mode, and sort of move, reposition, and then go. Turn, turn, turn. Oh yeah, that line broke. That Praetorian cavalry really messed them up. I didn't expect them to be Praetorian cavalry. Yep, and those militia hoplites are breaking just like we figured they would. So yeah, I think there's definitely... they weren't braced. Did I not have the formation on? Is the formation not on for anyone? Did I figure to toggle it? Oh, okay, it even toggles it by default. Oh, so they had to hit backspace to make sure they're actually in the formation instead of marching right there. That makes sense. So what we're talking about with the bracing is if they're marching, we see this in like Three Kingdoms and stuff, and I wasn't sure they even had it in this game, but now I know they do, is that when a unit's moving, they can't be in the formation until they turn first. Or sorry, you have to stop before they actually hit the formation. These guys are already running. They're not coming back. Yeah, it's just another reason not to use that particular type of militia crap. That's what I was talking about, though. It's like, the difference between militia and the tiers in this game is intense. And ironically, I did the thing I said I wasn't supposed to do, which is I went super wide, and immediately they got wasted right there. It's too much stretched out. But we got the enemy general, so that's good. I'm not sure where he was when that happened. We're going to win anyway, it seems like, but not because of good tactics. All right, here. I need you guys to just undo and run. Yeah, I just need you in the scrum a little faster here. What do we got? Oh, yeah, we just got Spartans just dominating. So, and that's the thing. I mean, these guys will just sit there and fight all day, although this Praetorian cohort will eventually cause them problems. So we need to get over here lickety-split to get them. Yep. I just need you guys in there quick. We can always turn on the phalanx in a moment. Yep. So the phalanx is entirely defensive for the most part. That gives them cohesion and I think possibly a shield bonus, but it's not like they attack any better. But it does make it so that, so they did not like that. They immediately routed right when we came up on them, which is awesome. Actually, no. Turn around. Stop. And brace. Turn around, stop, brace. Notice how quickly the Spartans did that too. They're already getting the right formation going. That's one of the advantages of these better troops. They turn a little quicker. Rome Remastered has so many cool features like that. If you haven't seen it, if you have a troop passing through another troop, they'll actually step around each other as they go past. I always thought that was so cool visually to see that represented, so it's not like chaos as you're trying to do it. Okay, what do we got going on here? Okay, who's this? This is Stoddy. Alright. I hate to break that phalanx formation, but sometimes you got to here. There's not a lot else to do. I think the Praetorians are still holding, if I had to guess. Yep. Repeating Ballista. Holding its own there. Okay. Good job repeating Ballista. You guys, champions of your team. You'll notice, though, they're done in the style of the later Roman legionaries, so they got the heavier armor and higher morale, which is definitely the advantage there. I think it's worth it to try and see if there's a way to build an army based around them. But yeah, so the right obviously went pretty quick. The center crumpled because I didn't have enough in the center, and yeah. All right, see if we can get up on time. No. No, they didn't lower their pikes yet. It's all right. They didn't want any. They didn't want any anyway. I love how long the battles last. Like, there's enough times for things to completely go wrong in these. You can also look at the battlefield afterwards and sort of tell where things went right, things went wrong. You can see where the movement is. Obviously, the main clash took place right here. And we lost. The Romans lost more than we did. But overall, pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, who's still up and moving? Somebody's happy. Who's still alive? Oh, there they are right there. Duh. Okay, get my cavalry guys. You guys need to come around here and start mopping people up here because there's definitely some stuff happening. Because it's going to keep chasing them forever, huh? Yeah, I'm hoping for monsters. I'm going to chat with monsters. I'm allowed to record it and then post it up afterwards. The official one will have like CA commentary, but I'm going to record me and monsters, hopefully in the same call, because I like the guys. It's so much fun. He's a monster among streamers, one might say, but he's also friggin' hilarious. He's a human being. So I'm thinking about wearing a bathrobe just to psych him out. If you don't know monsters, half the time he streams in bathrobes, it feels like. So you got to make sure to meet your opponent where they are. But as I said to other people, please watch his stream earlier on in the week. I want some skullduggery and spying, man. I want to know what he's up to before the battle ever even gets there. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop. Okay, good. That's what I was saying. He said you have to brace, and you saw him right there. Like, they really didn't want to brace, and they're already buckling. So let's spin these guys around. Drop them. Right, come on. And then meet them this way. Yep, come on, do it, 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 do it. Come on. Oh, yeah, they don't want any now. Yeah, that's right. A wall of friggin' guys coming at you. Yeah, don't want you guys just chasing people either. Let's go right there and then do a second point. Pharaoh Cody. Yeah, so I will be... this is going to be going on for like 2 months. I signed up for this, Rome Remastered, Napoleon, Pharaoh, and whatever the last one is, which is the People's Vote, is my understanding. And so I will definitely get a chance to do Pharaoh, which is really fun. They have a lot of really cool mechanics in that game, and I have a Pharaoh hat that I've used for one thing that I've been... It just like sits in the closet. I've been looking for an excuse to wear it again. So that's the fun thing about having lots of costuming. There's always a reason to use it again. Okay, what is going on here? Everybody's routed basically except for this guy. What are you guys? Those Triarii. Those Triarii, man. There it goes. All right. Let's do the detailed. So who was the most useful? Not shockingly, Spartans did the most. Greek cavalry did basically nothing. Militia hoplites were not great. I think he's got a point. Just cut out the militia hoplites and put chevrons into people. I mean, and that is what the Greeks thought too. Put your most experienced guys in the place and let them do their thing, and experience wins out. Because there's not a lot of difference in the actual techniques they were doing. I do wonder if a peltist or two in there would help out, because that's, the Spartans eventually started adding peltist around the edges. So they would have them locked in place and have a peltist come around the edge and like throw javelins in. That was the formations advanced as they did. And so I think that maybe this particular form, because I had a really hard time chasing people down right there. We won with clear victory, but it just took forever. So I do wonder if that's the irony of a game like Rome. Rome's technically 500 BC to like 400-ish 80, and this game stops around 250, I'd say, from the armors and stuff. But it's one of those that the techniques change over time just so darn much that it's worth kind of looking to see what the options are and evolve with them. You can actually do a Nordic woodland or a Germanic forest, and if you do that, the German faction gets a bonus. And I'm really wondering if I should try and be like, hey, why don't we just do a snow map and then pick Germania and not tell monsters, because it's technically not against the rules to use the inherent faction bonus of someone. I'm just not sure if I should tell him. It feels weird to be like, I'm gonna might slightly cheat, but all it says is, the map has to be rainy or foggy or whatever. It doesn't say which map. So if you click on Germany, you'll see what I mean. So they have that little thing right there, which gives them like an extra morale and an extra attack, I think, or something. It's like +1, but it's +1. Right. Multiplayer's back open again if anyone's installed it. Give them another minute. Hey, why not? It's more interesting to play people. That's why I keep doing this. But if not, Gothic Cav and Chosen Axemen are really good. Spear Warbearing, Scream for Enemy Cav, pretty good. I read something about that similarly last night, that apparently Caesar talked about the fact that the Germania had a phalanx, and it even says can form phalanx, which is pretty weird for a German, for what you would consider a barbarian faction. And you'll notice they're not particularly expensive either at 520. So I think there's definitely something to be said for, okay, so main body of phalanx. Chosen Axemen are there specifically to bust through, right? And Berserkers give a negative to morale to anyone around them. So I think one on each end. They're pretty expensive. But as you said, the Chosen Cavalry there go a really long way. Chosen Warlord, those are more expensive, but I don't want them to die. And we still got 2,400 left. That's interesting. So the German factions are sort of weird. I mean, as you said, they're meant to hold. I actually think maybe this is too many to hold. And it might be better off just giving them additional armor, because that's what I want them to do, is just sit there and hold. Because they have no armor currently. Yeah, okay. And that makes a heck of a difference to them. It's also exceedingly expensive. I mean, let's do 3 armor on each of those. So, I mean, their whole point is to hold people in place, right? And 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and keep the formation from moving. And then what would happen historically is, while they were doing that, the main assault would come on the sides, right? You'd expect this phalanx in the front. They'd go to do that, and then it hit. Yeah, Chosen Archers are interesting, because Chosen Archers, I actually played a multiplayer against Chosen Archers and had a tough time, and because of that, they were interesting. So they're missile, but they have really high defense and melee. So the easiest way to think of them is not as archers, but as dudes without shields who have a bow instead. So if you look at their stats, melee attack of 10, defense of 10, armor of 7. 10, 7, there's nothing else as armored as they are. So even though you think of them, they're just there to shoot, they're really there to shoot until they get close enough and then hit. So only basically the Chosen Axemen have a higher attack. So it's a case of they're really almost like Lothern Spearmen. Lothern Seaguard or Lothern Spearmen from Warhammer 3, where they're a mixed type unit. In fact, I really want to try that now just to see how that works. So if you have one of these, one between, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Can I afford one more? I don't think I can. And the idea is that one goes between each there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll give... I always give your general a little more health because why not? All right, let's try that. Well, I was going to say try that. I can't. There's nobody in here. That keeps happening. I'm like, okay, somebody install this, man. Come on. It's more fun. I'm going to get you hooked. I was hooked. Like, it's funny because I was like, oh, I'm just going to test it. And I ended up playing for like 3 hours. I was like, got to go to bed. We'll save this formation because I already had one formation. Germania 1. Save preset. So you go to chosen guy because the barbarian factions, the Germanic factions, your Alans, your Vendels, really did specialize in heavy cavalry, though they weren't as many of them as you would expect. Guy in each wing, these in between, you know, heavy armor, solid warriors, something to break in along the sides right there and do something a little different. You know, that's how the Germans like to do it. You know, try and ambush, come in from the edges as they could, and then punch through in the middle. Not unlike that AI did, honestly. You know, find the weak point in the line, hit it, send the axe spin with them after. I like it as a theory. All right. Nope. We'll go to new game, custom battle. Yeah, I got to. Unfortunately, nobody's popping in. We'll go to the Gallic countryside this time. That sounds fun. Oh. Is that difficulty for the AI? Difficulty... Okay, so if you're not aware of how difficulty works on Total War games, the AI does not get smarter, the stats change. So I'm going to leave it on medium, just because this actually represents the real stats. And in this one, it's not as bad. So especially in Warhammer 3, they get an increased attack, increased defense, increased... I've never had issues with desyncing from Rome Remastered. Now, I will say that. It's been dog stable for me, top to bottom. So there's something to that. Germania. All right, and then we'll let them do... It's weird to say everyone's going to play Rome, but everyone kind of does play Rome. So let them randomize. Randomize. It's funny, there's always an onager in every single one of these builds. These guys are weird. What do they have? 2 hit points? Can hide anywhere, good morale, fast moving, good stamina. It's funny. I don't think I've ever recruited those guys in game, the Arcani, because they're through the Julii temple, I want to say. Yeah, let's keep one in a battle. So we'll go from there. Oh, I've never done like 3v3. That's probably why I haven't seen it. That's for sure. All right, we'll go from there. And that's not... It's definitely going to have more guys than me, including 2 onagers, which could really mess me up. But, we'll see. Yeah, it's the counter picking, and all that kind of fun stuff. Sometimes you have to come up with your strategy and try it. So, I mean, the German strategy theoretically makes sense. Let's see if it works out. I mean, that's what they did historically. That's why I keep doing this stuff. It's like you look at what they did and go from there. I have one for the Macedonians already set up. I'll do next. Powers of our foes. I always wonder. It's all silly accents. You know, it's a bunch of British guys putting on accents for other cultures while still using a British accent, which I always found hilarious. You know, this is the Roman culture, and they don't sound Italian; they sound British. That's been the number of times they've gotten on to Total War for being like, why do they all sound British? Well, they're a British company, you know. That's why. I mean, they're not, hiring someone that's a local who speaks English. And even then, it's, it's getting into the sort of silliness of, it's a German guy speaking English, but not. And yeah, it's the kind of thing people complain about way too often in movies and stuff like that. It's like, you can understand them. They're not speaking, English in the style of Chaucer or whatever in the 1300s. I'd love to see some. Oh, man. I wonder if they've ever done a medieval movie where they use Old English. I mean, it should be perfectly possible. Like real Old English throughout the entire thing. Because it's like, one the April shower shoot to the juice of March to parse to the root. And bar that every vine is fish the core, which vertu engendered is the floor. That's the beginning of Chaucer. And you'll notice I put on a weird accent to say it because it's the only way I could remember it. Okay, barbarians right there. Barbarians right here. Phalanx. axemen. Yeah, no, axemen go here. Let's put you there. There's my other axemen. Axemen go here. Okay, yeah, all right, okay. I'm seeing a strategy forming here. Okay, give them enough holes they can actually still do things through. Okay. Yeah, put the axeman on the side. Okay. Huh. This is a goofy formation. I mean, that's theoretically how they did it, though, right? I mean, those guys go down. You have your archers, which can shoot through. Let's space them closer to this. I think I have one too many archers. Yeah, I think I do. That's fine. We'll put him on the flanks here. We'll actually put him up ahead to sort of bait people a little bit. And we kind of rush them through. Gaps in the defense here. A little closer in. And then, yeah, we're going to turn off that. Huh. Control left click. Okay. Control left click. So this is the same as just doing it this way. It's not doing anything different, so I'm not sure what it is you're looking for with control left click. So it's saying plus. Hold Alt to expand tooltip. Yeah. That may be a later one. The other one you can't do is the control walk. So in later games you can like Alt drag click and it'll actually kind of show you like the path your guys are going to take. That one doesn't work in this game because it's an older thing. I think they introduced I don't know when they introduced that one, but it was later. I know that much. Okay, yeah. So and that's definitely similar to Warhammer 3 there, where it's like, is this like a place you can't go in the field? Okay, what's going on here? Oh, what in the world just happened? Oh, no. It unlocked my formation instantly. No. All right. That's fine. All right. Here, let's fix this. Oh, man. I was not paying attention. I was trying all that control stuff, and I think I accidentally unclicked it. All right. Come on. Here we go. Get back in position here, guys. Oh, that's the worst. Good to know about the rain. I wondered about that. It actually, even in like right here, is not fantastic. So the rain's completely screwing it up on you guys in. All right, let me restart that in. There's no reason to make you guys sit through something that's horribly compressed, especially for a training battle. It's interesting to know just for the compression, because I can pass that along to the rule guys. Be like, hey, just so you know, the battle replay stuff looks pretty rough if you choose to do it that way. Advanced conditions, summer, we'll do calm or hazy, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't matter. And we'll just go back in again. No reason not to do it. Right, so yeah, that gets rid of the rain. Hopefully it makes it a little easier for you guys to see what's going on here. All right. Thumbnails using graphical mods. It's not. This is bog standard. So the thumbnail for the YouTube, yes, that is RTS, Rome Total Surrectum, which is fantastic. Love that mod. Really great research and stuff goes into that mod. If you've never played RTS, it is a wonderful little game. Very colorful, gorgeous to look at. We can't play modded on this one, unfortunately. They were for the purpose of, you know, fairness and keeping everybody on the same page. Yeah, love the RTS game. Rome Total Realism, I think it's the correct name for it right there. Okay, Axeman goes right here. Axeman goes right here. We'll put them on each row on each flank. Okay. Yep. Okay, you need to go right there, right there, right there. I know you're like, why is placement so important? And it's like, it just is in this especially. All right. Lock and start battle. All right, now we're good. Yeah, so much better. I'm sure like the little constant noise stuff screws up compression so badly. So that's what I'm glad you said that. And it did it again. It's doing it again. Is it the trees? What is causing them to freak out like that here? I mean, I'm telling him specifically to like go into the formation, and it is definitely locked. It just doesn't want to do it. Huh. That's incredibly weird. Did it again, too. I think it's the pits. What pits? These pits? Yeah, the boulder things right there. It's weird. Something to watch out for sure. Okay. Nope, nope. Need you guys forward. You start shooting. Alt drag should work in remaster. Nope. I mean, it does that, which is... Oh, is that what you mean? As far as, like, precise placement goes? I've never even used that before. It's literally never come up. Like, they're just letting me just shoot into these guys. Some of it is, I mean, and really it's stability. It uses 64-bit architecture, so you get higher frame rates. You get, for modding, a lot did change. So they unlocked in the source files how many different regions you can have in the mods, and that's been huge for the modding community. I mean, there are some now with, I think I said 2,000 provinces. I mean, they went in and really redid this. Weird to say, to work better with phones, but by doing the version that works on phones, they also made it so it's a lot easier to have something that works here, you know? Okay, this isn't working. Yeah, those guys are going to keep doing that. They're just going to keep coming around me. Where's my general? You need to get up here because we're going to punch through in a second. I can see this coming. All right, chosen archers. You guys are stuck in, so do that. You guys need to keep moving forward. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Keep shooting them there. God, man, these guys are just all sorts of... Yeah, it works really well on the phone, too. There's a Medieval 2 phone adaptation, and there's an Empire phone adaptation, which, I mean, it's weird to say that, but that one worked. I haven't played that one, because it's also an iPad, and I didn't have an iPad at the time. I ended up getting one on, like, super-duper discount, so I could draw on it. But it's one of the first things I installed. Just want to play that now that I've said it aloud. All right. Come on, get in there, boys. Oh, that's Praetorian cavalry. Got to watch out for that. No, I didn't have them braced. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was my own fault. Mistakes were made. Here, shoot those guys. Get in there. Yeah, you guys need to stay out. You guys can come out and regroup. And then let everybody else do this. You know, the Germans are working surprisingly well in a way that, you know, I'm doing really poorly here, and this is still doing what I would expect it to do. Huh. A very forgiving faction so far. Oh no, that wasn't forgiving. Let's see if we can pull out the victory from this, but so far it's been pretty good. All right, and I forgot to do the stupid war yell the whole time. That's another one of his abilities. So you tap that right before they go into the fight, and it makes it so that they can get a damage boost. I think it's for 30 seconds or something close to that. So they do this war yell like, "Rah!" You know, and they run in. So, yeah, get their axemen right here, get them trapped in. These guys are Praetorian Cav again. They're hitting that flank really hard. And then let's get back on there with those guys. Get them back in. I've been ignoring this flank this whole time, but it didn't matter. Enemy generals routing. Yeah, gosh, they were... I like the glowing arrows. Now, I know that I'm not supposed to say that, but in the heat of battle, like, it's so much easier to tell when you're getting shot, and you can turn down projectile trails on a lot of these. Let me see if you can turn down projectile trails in this one. And that's what it is. It's called projectile trails, and we got realistic versus vibrant color schemes. I use the modern realistic ones because why not? No, it doesn't look unless it's under gameplay settings. It's not. So that's something they added later, but you know, it always sort of had this sort of goofy little white trails, just because otherwise it's this tiny little black little sliver thing that unless you're really paying attention, it's hard to see in here. But that is a stylistic choice. Like, if it's me playing by myself in a campaign, yeah, I'll probably mod them out. But, like, for a multiplayer battle, I don't know when I'm getting shot, man. And that's one of those things you unfortunately just have to. I'm stopping to brace because that's a Praetorian cohort, and I know to do that now. And oh no! See these barbarians right here? These crazy berserkers? Yes, yes. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? Why did you undo your formation? Why did you turn around? You morons. Ah. All right, doesn't matter. The berserkers are running in with their anti-morale the whole time, so it didn't count. But it's like, oh no. All right. Yeah, well, that worked pretty well. I mean, again, heroic victory on that one. And let's see who did. Casually inflicted. Chosen warlord with the cavalry. A lot of heavy stuff. Surprising numbers from the archer warband. Spear warband did a good job holding the line. I really liked that formation. I think that was more effective than I thought it would be. I'll put it that way. I'm going to try that one again in a bit. We're going to go back around, show you guys the Macedonians. One more time, if you happen to be online. Cody Bond's YouTube, folks. Host a custom battle, ultra size. But I'll explain the formation while I'm in there, and that way I can pop over and just show it to you guys. Italian lowland, why not? So the Macedonians are different from the Greeks in this one, and it makes sort of sense why. Now, I was not able to properly recreate Alexander's formation because really the way this one's set up is not quite the same. So Alexander had these sort of, they're not the best, but pretty good tier phalanx guys that did their long pikes across the front, right? And then on the far right, he would have his guys and really buff cavalry on the far right. Again, they want to do that right hand heavy punch onto the unguarded left. Then he had a crappier unit of cavalry on the far left just to keep anyone from getting behind his units. And then in front of that all, he had peltas, like I said before, sort of screening between each one of the formations of pikemen. Now, the thing is, the other thing he had on the far right, between the cavalry and the pikemen, right, he had this one unit of just... Oh, Melkor, awesome. This one unit of just like basic hoplites, like really good, heavily armored hoplites. Like they're not there to be pikemen. They're there to fight anyone that comes around the corner. Now you can't quite do that in Rome Remastered. And so I kind of had to buff up some royal pikemen here, which are good, but frankly not as good as. The thing that makes Macedonia in this game interesting is they have, what was it, royal peltist or something? I mean, clearly the thing that they have is the companion cavalry. You know, these really buff cavalry guys. I'm going to look around my camera. My camera's directly in front of me right here. If he does, yeah, tell him to hop on there. And so I need something that can just be on that far right in case we get flanked. It's weird to put sort of the best pikemen there, but it does the same thing. So let's see, and archers the same way. Like, that's why I'm not using archers. Anyhow, we'll run it as is. But that's the idea, is that Alexander, again, had a sort of a much more hammer and anvil system. The pikemen are not there to fight. They're there to hold people in place. So you want to use the cheapest versions you can to do that. So in here, I'm using the phalanx pikemen instead of the levy pikemen, because if you compare their unit stats, that's morale 2, defense 5 versus morale 4, defense 13 for not even double the cost. So for not even double the cost, I get double the amount of defense, and they're there to sit still and hold people in place while the cavalry swing around and do what they need to do. So, you know, it's definitely worth it, I think, to... So, yeah, that's where the peltas come in. So ideally, there'd be... It's funny, because the Greek states have royal peltas and they have hoplites, and I wish they had those in this particular faction, but that's what you have. It's just a lightly armored guy to sort of go along with them, to sort of screen him. You know, you throw stuff to keep people back, and then you can do that final anvil charge. In fact, I kind of want to lose one of these. Let's lose 2 of these, and then add 2 peltas back in. And I got 810 left over, and let's give everybody a chevron of defense, and see if we can do that. Yep, chevron. Chevron. You know what? I'm tempted to just lose 2 of these and put a royal pikeman on instead. Again, to condense this formation as much as possible, and then just have it where it's much more about the mobility of these guys. And then, yeah, we'll put an experience onto Companion cavalry, can form wedge, general's bodyguard, can form wedge, general's armored bodyguard, which is what we have. So the key is these have 2 hit points versus 1, although they have half as many people. They're just your general's less likely to die, which is why I'm trying to do it that way. It's not ideal, but you know, given the option here, I prefer to keep my general alive, right? Yeah, we'll give him an extra punch. So this is going to be our punch on our right and our guys on our left. All right, and we'll save that. We're going to save it. Save that preset. Yeah, so I can override it. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, well, hopefully he's popping on. I haven't heard anything from him there. Maybe he's installing it. I don't know. We'll go back over. We'll do another AI one in the meantime. Yeah. I mean, no one else is playing, so. Let's see the lobby. It's just so weird to see a game with, like, a lobby and nothing. It's just one of those funny things. But, I mean, you know, this is a 20-something-year-old game. What are you going to do? All right, multiplayer. Online, new game. Yes, I'm doing new game and custom battle. Yeah, we'll do the Sierra Nevada. As in, like, California? I think that there may be 2 Sierra Nevadas. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from that one. All right, Macedon. Load in the phalanx we just created. And then we'll, I don't know, any suggestions for who we can fight? Someone played the Spanish against me. I thought they were interesting. I don't know. Yeah, that's the only good part of Alexander from 2004 is the Battle of Gaugamela. No one talks about that movie for a reason. I remember watching the behind. I actually saw that in theater. That's how old I am. I made a point to go see that film though because I was so excited for it. And it was my first experience with Rosario Dawson, so I mean that was also worth it. But the Battle of Gaugamela was particularly interesting because there was a Discovery Channel documentary about it at the time, but they, you know, had this group of like 50 guys that acted as Macedonian pikemen, and so they just replicated these guys over and over again on the battle. I always thought it was funny that the first thing you see is the eagle flying over, right? And so you get a bird's eye view at the front start. People always give it a hard time, but it's like, you know, it works as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I always tell people this story is that I hate that version of Alexander exists. That was, oh gosh, it's not Ford Coppola that made that one. Who made that one? I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, it's the same guy who made the JFK movie. Who made the JFK movie? Anywho, the point is, there were 2 different Alexander the Great biopics in development at the same time. And one of them was, okay, let's get our peltist here. And we're going to put one on this far right. We're going to put our general over here and you over here as well. And we're going to tighten you guys up. So there are 2 different Alexander the Great movies in development at the same time. And one of them was by Baz Luhrmann, who in 2003 was on fire. He had just released Moulin Rouge, really was firing on all cylinders, making some really cool stuff. And he had started development on a Alexander the Great movie that, because of this other one that got made, people pulled the funding for. They're just like, no, clearly there is no desire for an Alexander the Great movie. Completely missing the point that it's because it was not a very good film. And so they just pulled support, which sucked so hard. I was so excited for that movie. They just never got made. But, you know, that's how showbiz works, unfortunately. You know, people assumed that there was an interest versus just not recognizing that the film itself was not very good. All right, and so we got these guys on the far right. Cavalry, peltist screen. All of them right there. And it was actually had Leonardo DiCaprio and Nicole Kidman attached to it at the time. So Leonardo DiCaprio, this is 2003, and Leonardo DiCaprio as well. He had already done test footage in the Australian desert for the Battle of Gaugamela. It was supposed to be filmed in Australia because, ironically, it's really desert. You know, it works pretty well. And that's it. The initial test footage was really cool. And I remember there's a magazine article. Oliver Stone. That's who made JFK and made the Alexander biopic. But yeah, Oliver Stone is known for making films really cheaply and as quick as possible. And basically, he announced his version after Alexander's version got greenlit because people were like, oh, we can make a competing product. And he was able to get his done faster. And that's how it got to market first. And it got to market first, and the other one had just begun shooting, so they just scrapped it because the response was so bad. So instead, we got this we could have gotten a really crazy, trippy Alexander, with all the weirdness that comes with Baz Luhrmann, which honestly would not have been far off from the excess of the times. And instead, we got the Oliver Stone version. Historical tidbit of the day. What do we got here? General's bodyguards. Yep. All right. You know what, kids? Back up. Oh, nope. Stop. Yeah, you guys need to back up here. He wants to do something. He just doesn't know what he wants to do yet. Yeah, come on. I need you guys to be a little more nimble here. Back up. All right, come on. Yeah, let's have you guys, yep, right into him. Nice. Okay, and he wants to do a cavalry battle. That's fine. We can oblige him. What do we got here? Scutari light infantry, General's bodyguard that crashed right through our pikes like they weren't even there. Okay. Yeah, the Spanish I don't know much about in this period. I know that the Romans did adapt their gladius from the Spanish formations, but there's always a question to me, like, how much did they actually impact? All right, come on. You guys need to get your butts in gear. All right, and let's go over here since we're already doing this, and yeah, you guys need to tighten this up a little. Yeah, it's weird. They're so far behind our lines by having to pull someone back to be able to take care of them, but they're being held in place by the cavalry for... No. All right. Into the pikemen. There we go. Cavalry did what they were supposed to do. They were cheap, crappy cavalry, but they held the line there. All right, come on, do it. All right, that's the end of those guys. Town militia's broken. Yeah, I actually find this formation a lot easier to deal with, handling control-wise. The triplakis of the Romans is just a pain in the butt to move around because there's so many parts that have to go right where you're throwing. Now this one's just, basic hammer and anvil, which obviously I'm a little bit more comfortable with here. And yes, I do play Bretonnia. All right. Now get out of the way there, kids. And this does play a lot like Bretonnia, if you guys know that from Warhammer. Even in later games, I actually prefer Barbarian Invasion. I played more Barbarian Invasion than I did like the initial Rome because I love that period from about 500 to about 800 or so right there. And so seeing the rise of the Franks, things like the Saxon invasions, you get some really interesting infantry formations with schildtrons and shield walls and shield castles. Same reason I love Thrones of Britannia. So it's really cool. Ooh, Bull Warriors, heavy infantry. I don't know what that is. Let's throw some archers on that. All right, kids, come over here and let's just come over here and oh, you guys are out of ammo. That's interesting. Yeah, so these guys are... Is that my general? Ooh, let's get my general out of there. I think their general charged my general and I missed it. All right, he's already routing, so... Where are you guys that you're getting drilled so hard? Oh, you got throwing some stuff at you. That'll do it. Yeah, so our Peltas guys are going through the ranks there. You'll notice they're kind of passing through the lines, which is such a cool thing to be able to do in this. And then obviously the pikes. You got 3 layers of pikes just spiking against each other. I really do hope if we get something like Medieval 3, we get strong pike combat again in an interesting way. I was watching a documentary last night about Bannockburn and just talking about how the beginnings of pikes really being useful is what you see at Bannockburn. You know what? That's not going to work. I already know that's not going to work. So we need to get over here stupid quick. Yeah, come on. They're just going to keep freaking out if you don't do that. You know what? You are going to die if you keep that up, buddy. And, yeah, there we go. You know what? We just need to take it out of pike formation and chase them down. Yeah, sometimes he's got to run people down real quick, and that's where that light cavalry comes in. And it's funny, in later Total War games, the light cavalry doesn't feel as useful. Here, though, it's like, hey, these guys are going to keep running, so you really gotta you gotta have something to chase them with. Otherwise, it's just going to keep being a problem. I'll go ahead and just send him over this way. And this is in multiplayer, you can actually vote on the speed, so you can be like, hey, quadruple speed really quick. And if both people agree to doing the really high speed like that, it'll swap over to it, which is really fun. All right, let's see how that did. So again, you'll notice these pikemen, I honestly did more damage than I thought they would. The peltasts didn't do very much. I do wonder about just removing the peltasts entirely and having more cavalry on the sides, because the cavalry are clearly what did it. So, you know, losing 2 peltasts and gaining a companion cavalry probably wouldn't be the worst thing to do there, because I mean, that's what Alexander wanted to do. I mean, he wanted to have more and more and more cavalry focus on that. All right, hosting a battle. If Melkor or anyone is on, hopefully they pop in again. But let's alter that formation a little bit, because like it said right there, I do think that less guys doing more seems to be the order of the day. And I played a game with Milk and Cookies years ago now, back when Thrones of Britannia first released, and that's what he did. I had a bunch of levy and stuff, and he put just like some elite guys on there, and he my hair looks horrible. And he absolutely razzled me, man. Just beat the snot out of me like there was no tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, man, don't bring so many levy next time. I was like, okay, well, 20 stack isn't as useful as I thought it was. Good to know. All right, so what we figured out just then was the peltast, while cool, probably don't need them right there, and in fact could use for something else. But the thing is, they're so dirt cheap. Honestly, I think we could even lose a pikeman again, you know, if it gained us a companion cavalry. That feels worth it to me. Yeah, do that companion cavalry. Throw another companion on that far right. And how much are the Lancers? 370? Nah, let's give an extra chevron defense to these chevron to that guy. Too much. Yeah, I think that's the right way to do that, though, just to give it a little bit extra oomph. You know, it's funny, I keep saying take people away, but you put them where the money goes, right? I mean, Alexander wanted to have a line that holds. That line holds. There's nothing wrong with a line. And then have the cavalry, which is what we keep running into. We need the cavalry to then run people off to the side there. So I think that's going to be the better idea. Yeah, and we'll save that so we have that moving forward. All right, so I think our German formation works pretty good. So that's round 1. I have to take through 3 battles, right? So Germans for sure. I like the German formation. I like this formation. Spartans is okay. It lacks some. It has some problems. And I think taking the militia out of it would definitely help. Rome, I'm not convinced on. I don't like them. I don't like the way that works so far. Something about it messes with me. Let's do the purple Rome again. So what we have here, move the camera so I can see this a little better, is, let's see, what we have here is some auxilia, some astati, all that kind of fun stuff, right? So, I don't know. So, auxilia are cheap, but not as cheap as astati. Well, they're honestly even cheaper than astati, but they have roughly comparable defense. Okay, so in the later period, it was auxilia supporting the cohorts, right? And these are your early legionary cohorts, and they're 610, which are even more expensive than the Principes. And here's just a straight legionary cohort. I'm not even getting into Praetorians. So compare that to the Triarii, which are right here. So 500 versus 740. So cohorts, 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 and then you have a cavalry on one side in the Roman formation. So it goes cohorts all the way across, archers. Oh, actually, it's staggered, obviously, with some archers in the back line, a siege engine, and then cavalry on both wings, just in case. And the cavalry are not there specifically to destroy people. The cavalry are more there to, make sure that nobody gets around you. So while a heavily armored Roman general is fun, it's not necessary for, like, when it says Roman cavalry, that's really what it is right there. But I don't want the general to die, but I also just don't want to spend a lot of money on a heavy cavalry guy I'm not necessarily going to use. All right, it's fine. We'll drop him right there. See what we can do. I think that running him through the center is probably the best way. As we saw that doing it. So Roman legionaries across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's do, it's a checkerboard. So that's 5, and then 4, and then 5. So that's 5, 4, 5, 14 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No pigs. Pigs are fun for a meme. I actually do kind of want to do a meme build just to see how they do. Pigs are great when you light them on fire and they run at elephants, and that's about all they're good for. I want to find a siege engine that works really well, though. Like the onager shoots really far, doesn't do enough. I want to see the repeating ballista. I want to see something that's like pop, 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 pop. I want to see something constantly hitting something. I'm much more interested in that. All right, Roman archers. It's weird to do it this way, but it's almost like just like a basic formation of what you'd see for almost like a medieval game at that point. I want to stagger it so we have the spacing between them, but I don't know. Let's see, that goes there. The flank, deterring cavalry. So if you put the scorpions on the flank, you have to have something on the flank to protect them. That's why typically you have them sort of in the middle of the army shooting forward. In fact, let's do 2 scorpions, or repeating ballistas there. Can impale several. What's the difference between these two? I wish there was a fire rate. Can we see what the fire rate is on these? So these don't hurt as much, but they are repeating. Can impale several, very long range. Huh. Yeah, let's swap it to 2 scorpions and see what happens, because scorpions are very inaccurate. Well, they're hitting formations here, so as long as they're shooting quickly, that's what I care about. You never played this game. All right, well, yeah, you're in for a real treat then to see how this one works. All right, another legionary cohort. No, we got too many legionary cohorts. All right, so let's now... That's doing pretty good. As I think that in this game, that when you rank up the skill, it also increases the accuracy of something. So those are more accurate now. I think that looks pretty good. No human players. Well, if Melkor's going to join, he's not doing it so far. All right. Toggle panel. We're going to call this the Legion. Legion 1. Save the preset on that one. Okay. Like I said, anyone that's got it right now, if you have a copy of this, pop on, man. I'd love to play you. I'd love to play a person. It's so much fun. Not least because you get to be on the stream. All right. New game. Go back to the custom battle. Yep. And then we'll try out our Sierra Nevada, which is hilarious. Medium. Awesome. And let's try this out really quick where we do the Legion 1. Yep. There's not a lot of guys, but I think it'll work. All right, let's swap over to fighting some filthy Gauls. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, the Gauls are interesting. Them and the Britons both, they have the Druids, which work a bit like the Berserkers, but they're they're buffing the people around them as opposed to necessarily kind of harming, for lack of a better way of describing that. Like that beard. I was going to shave my beard before today's stream, but I was like, no, it's historical. Keep it. Start deployment. All right. So here's what I was saying. This is honestly not that bad of a sort of version of this. But with the Romans, it's weirdly, it's about the depth, right? So you want to keep it where it's not necessarily about fighting them. It's about punching through that front. I read a description one time that said the Roman way of warfare is not meant to flank and all that. It's actually meant to just punch right through the middle of you with heavy infantry. Just like keep applying pressure until you just fold from under it. So their archers are not at the front. Their archers are just right here shooting over everything. And then I got one more of you guys, so we'll put them right here on the far right. Okay. And then we got 2 ballistas we're going to put on each side. Really didn't want to let me put that there. Yep, those trees are in the way, I think, is what's happening. So we'll put that right there. And then we got a contingent of cavalry on the far wing. And we got another contingent of cavalry on this wing with our general. And all right, I think that's good. So that's as close as I can do to a Roman formation in here, because I don't have enough to do a true legion formation. That's just you know, the reality of how this is working. All right, we'll lock it so that it's good to go. What's the best Total War game in my opinion? Man, I don't know. I've enjoyed them all. Each one of them has their own kind of different way of playing, and I play each one wanting a different thing. And I think that, you know, it's a game that's been going for 20 years, so you can't really say what's the best Total War, because each is sort of its own thing in a sort of way, you know. All right, start the battle. Do these guys have fire at will on? They should. They do not. All right, they also have testudo formation. Okay. Okay. So do a wedge right here, do a wedge right here. And we're going to bring our general into the middle here just so that, you know, it's not quite so messing with people. Come on, man. Fire at will. Fire at will. I want to see you shooting. Why are you not shooting? Come on. Crank it, boys. Boom. There we go. All right. Now we got some Gauls. Can we really hit some people? Like, come on, man. I invested a lot of points in you guys. Like, if you're willing to just sit there and be shot, I'm fine with that. I need you guys to back up, though. I don't want to lose my cavalry right here at the start. Yeah, we're going to have you guys on the other side of the trees. I should point out that I have the vegetation toggled. Otherwise, it's, you know, it looks like that. I just have it off currently because, you know, it's hard to see through. All right. Yeah, come on. No, you don't want this? Okay, we'll start moving forward a little bit then. And we'll get my guys until they are in range of arrows. And, yeah, one of the rules is no camping, so someone eventually has to make a move. Okay, come on. You know what? No, I need you not to go forward yet. I need you to stop right here. I need you to stop right here. Okay. All right. And, okay, good. Looking good. All right. Yeah, wedge. Okay. Yep. So you guys are going to throw, and you're going to throw. Yep, I don't have anything in reserve. I needed another guy on the left. I hate to do this. It's a waste of guys. Yep, this didn't work out at all. Didn't work out at all. So my infantry is going to punch right through there, which is awesome. But, like, I do not have anything in reserve to be able to deal with those guys like they were supposed to be dealt with, which stinks. Okay, come on. Yeah, just everybody take that out. The German line is definitely overwhelming me right here. Yeah, okay. I need you guys to right face, come back over here. Like, I really need my cavalry to be up there to be able to take care of their stuff, and it's just did not happen. Yep. I'll do a recall. Hey, guys, rally if you can. Yeah, what I really need you guys to do is get over there and handle that for me. This is all archers just getting eaten by that barbarian warlord, which is such a waste. That didn't work at all. So I just needed more infantry on that one. That's the problem. These guys were so expensive that I didn't have enough depth behind them to have some in reserve. I need more auxilia or something. I don't know what else to do on that one. It's got to have a deeper formation than those too few guys. Because that's all the Romans did. I mean, that's why they brought auxilia. You know what I mean? They're, you know, you have an equal number of auxilia for the legion, I think. It was like the same number, except going forward there. Where are you? Okay, well, you definitely got rid of those guys. All right, folks, let's reform here. You're getting way too scattered out in the nowhere. Okay, enemy generals routing. Well, that's good. I mean, despite my absolutely piss-poor performance, it did do what it needed to do. I think cutting one of the legionary cohorts, and then... Yeah, see, and it's funny because they still haven't thrown all their Pila. They still have some. I mean, that's how many stinking Pila you have in this game. I mean, the ballistas were completely slap useless. In my opinion, that was just a waste of everyone's time and energy. Here, let's use our cavalry here to do what the cavalry is supposed to do while everybody reforms back up. Because really, it does not need us to do this. It just needs my cavalry to hit them one time, they run. Cavalry hits them one time, and they're going to run. And then cavalry is going to hit these guys one time, and then they're going to run. Okay. Let's see. The cool thing about the wedge, so the wedge actually, you'll notice, pushes right through the middle of the formation and sort of splits it in two, which is really useful because now when I hit it on both sides, it only counts as, it already counts as being split. Boop. Knocks them in half. So that's the advantage of the wedge right there. You don't see that as much in the later games. So, you know, it's a little bit more useful here to have that. Well, what's going on, guys? You get 29 people left? What? That morale, man. That low morale will get you eventually. So something's happening right here. These Forester Warband, I suspect, are sort of like the chosen. Yep. So they are not cracking under pressure. So let's get these guys back and let's send an actual army up that way because they're just going to keep doing that and break all my cavalry around them, which there's no point in that. Nobody wants that. Foresters have spears. Well, there you go. That's why. No shields, but they have spears. So again, they're like the chosen archers. They're that sort of multi-tool, which is the advantage of the barbarian factions, right? They're not stuck doing one thing. Are these ballistas even done anything? Guys, right? Are you on your ballista? Is the ballista dead? I think the ballista's just dead. It got broken. Okay, well, yeah, if it got cracked and destroyed, there's nothing for them to do anyway, so... You know what, kids? Have fun. Just run in and fight. Why not? Right, so while they're occupied... And it's funny because, again, they're going to throw those... going to throw all their stuff really quick, which is hilarious to see them do, and they try and charge in. I hate to sacrifice my cavalry this way, but you got to pin them in place so the infantry can get to them. Otherwise, it doesn't work, right? And that's one of the things you can do with cavalry is you just hold them there long enough to be able to let your other guys get there, which is what they did. I mean, that's why they're not great cavalry, but they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to do that until the infantry can get to them. Exactly how the Romans did it. That's the point. All right. I suspect our legionaries did pretty good. Our ballistas did crap. Our cavalry should have done pretty well. Yep, legionary cohorts. Look at those guys, man. Boom! Right through the middle like they're supposed to. Scorpions are worthless. Worthless. Whoa. Okay. That's good to know. All right. Gonna remove the ballistas. And it's funny because you always think, oh, the siege weapons should be really useful. And to be fair, I have played a game before where the siege weapons came in clutch. A buddy of mine, it was his first ever Total War game. And we were playing Medieval 2. We were fighting against each other. And he'd pick like I don't even remember who he picked. It was like the Golden Horde or something like that. But he picked a cannon, one of those bombard cannons. And he spent the entire match slowly pushing it across the map. Never fired it once. It's like, dude, it is such like that was like half your money and you've never even fired it. He's like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, man. 10 minutes later, he gets it up to the plate. He happens to turn it in such a way and it points through a gap in the walls and it fires. and it hits the general of the other side and like goes right through his entire army. Just kill them all instantly. Instant rout. He was losing so badly, but this cannonball just, wow, drilled them all. Kill me. Hey, Melgor! Awesome. So, but yeah, he drilled the snot out of them and just killed it, instantly routed. All right, man. So you got your stuff on. Hey there, you're on stream. To have a person to fight against. Bring it. All right, let me get an actual strategy going on here. Let's see how we do. I liked that one. I want to adapt it one time just so I have a good... I like that build better than Triple Lackeys. I feel like it worked better. It was definitely easier to use. So... it's weird to me. There's 4 Roman factions, but they all have the exact same thing going on. I'm going to lose one of these. Lose these 2. They were worthless. Bring that up there. I felt like our Roman cavalry died too easily. We can upgrade them to something like heavy cavalry, and you do get more morale and defense and armor. So I think that, I mean, they're already Roman cavalry. Legionary heavy cavalry, yeah, I think that going to those 2 is going to be the better move there. So we have more oomph. Archers, we're fine. I don't know. I honestly kind of want to lose the archers. All right, so what if we put Auxilia? How much is a legionary? 740? Because, I mean, I can get... How much are archers? Dirt cheap. Kind of hate to completely lose all archers. But I can definitely get 1 more legionary cohort and then back down and then cool. Yeah, I think that's good. And then can I spend that on anything? I can't spend that on anything. All right. So that's a lot more legionaries. And then... yeah. All right. I'm going to click start battle. We'll see what he says. He's bringing Macedon, so that's going to be a lot of pikemen, so I can't really fight him going forward. So I'm going to have to stand there, make sure to throw enough pilas at them, and hit him with enough range to be able to get through him. That's how the Romans did it. Let's see if we can do it, right? So he's going to want to stand in one place, and he's going to have his cavalry come over. I have to deny his cavalry and then find a way to fight him with this. So again, we're going to try and bait him. Right. He may try and corner camp, by the way. We'll see. We won't give him too much crap if he does. All right. So everybody tighten it up a little bit. I want thick blocks because I want my blocks to stop his blocks. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm staggering these so that when the fight happens, they're not all, right, all on top of each other. You know, same thing here. Okay, so 2, 3. Okay. Roman cavalry on this side, Roman cavalry on that side, guy in the middle. Okay, actually, let's put them right there. That way they can sort of shoot earlier. And then have it here. We're going to have this well and truly back. So the first thing they encounter is actually going to be these guys. Yep. Okay. This actually, and it's funny because when you start playing with these formations, you start to feel what the idea was historically. And so before, the problem I was running into is they were running into the army and the soft archers before they got to my legionaries. So by now, because they're interspersed further in, I can always catch them if they try and come around too far. But otherwise, he has this sort of little thing right there to get in his way. So, all right, already he's trying to bring his cavalry around to the far right there, which makes sense, right? You know, he wants to do that. So, right, so he's going to start immediately trying to bring that cavalry over to the flank. And then let's bring them to a point we can start shooting at them really quickly. All right, he's going to bring that. Right, so let's just assume that he's about to do this, right? We know what's about to happen here. Let's go ahead and pull that guy back to start protecting that rear. Nope, stop. Right, and then shift that entire right line to be able to take care of that. I'm just going to keep doing that. Hold it right there. We're good. Go forward. Nope, actually, you can have Walker run on. Walk. It's funny. It's like, everybody walk. Walk forward. Don't run. Okay. Oh, man, he's going so wide. Yeah, he's really bent and determined on me getting out of formation as much as possible. He wants to bait it. And then, come on. Nope, 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 nope. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Quick, 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 quick. Yep. All right, stop. There we go. Yep, see, he turned it right for a hit there. That was a nice move on his part. All right, and then hit here and go there. And let's see if it catches the edges of it. Yep, it did. So that blunted his charge, right, instantly, because he couldn't get through the lines right there. Now right here, not so great. Nothing I can do about that. So it's already holding, and that's fine. And he's trying to get in the middle right there, and that's awesome. That's exactly what he should be doing. Great work on his part. Right, so right, I need to get my guys up and moving, though. So that's... yeah, he's trying to get his guys around the back right there again. So he has just way more guys moving forward than I do on that one, which is awesome. I'm had to commit way too many to the back line to try and deal with his cavalry right there. Okay, it looks like, though, his cavalry's breaking pretty quick, which is good to know. Yeah, all right, come on. And then go ahead and catch them because they're on the back. Oh, nope, 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 nope. What are you doing? Don't you be charging in the front of a phalanx. That's a bad idea for everybody. Okay. And you guys need to... this is one of the weirder things is they start doing the throws, right? And so they don't charge quick enough. So that always messes with me a little bit. Actually, it looks like they all... I forgot to enable auto throw. Oh man. So none of them threw their pilas at any point, which stinks. But that's fine. Live and learn. Yep, so he's going to try and adjust those pikes to get in front of me as fast as he can here. And they're just really pinning me as best as he can. Okay. You guys need to get down here and do something other than hanging out, looking ugly. What is this? A cohort? Yep, you guys need to get down here too. Yep, come back here. Let's go ahead and do what I'm supposed to do now. So his didn't work out, and that's great for me. I stopped his cavalry charge. I have cavalry supremacy at this point, so I should be able to kind of move him how I want to now. Yep, because he can't get behind me, and so now I can use this right here, do the same thing. He's going to do everything to try and get his companions in there. Good, 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 good. Unless my general dies, which would suck, suck, suck. All right. What are these? These are archers. Just, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're just holding them in place for right now until everybody else gets down here. Okay, we're doing good here. Right, yep, and then you guys come right there. So he's him on the side, but we got to adjust pretty quick there. So he's going to try and adjust his guys because they're definitely going to come into the back of him pretty quick here. So we got to watch out for that. What's oh no, Roman general. No! Get bogged in the archers. Oh man, that's all right. We're okay for right now because we're still very much doing well here. It's just a case of actually, you go this way, you go that way, you, and you guys come up here, and I need you guys to separate back out. Because there's not a lot of point to you being grouped together like that. No, he didn't like being pulled off right there. That's okay. Can't recall people now. That's okay. So what we need to do now is space ourselves out so that we can actually start to envelope and get around behind him, because you don't want to fight the front of the phalanx if you can avoid it, or pikemen in this case. So he's going to come right at me. That's great. My guys are going to throw everything we got at them. That's what the Romans are supposed to do, is just keep chucking stuff at you. They're incredibly cheap. Like their whole idea is throw as many things as possible, so the fight is not about you fighting them. It's about you fighting 30 billion projectiles, which finally worked right there. That's what was supposed to happen at the beginning, but I forgot to turn on fire at will. My fault. Right. Okay, good. Same thing. Repeat right up here. Right. Let's do right here, kids. Right there. And then he's going to need to do the same thing right here, because eventually these guys up there are going to come back. I don't know where his general is. Should find his general somewhere. So much more fun to fight people in this, especially because I know who it is. Feel free to tell me what his strategy is in stream. I'm not above that. What are you doing, guys? We just like hanging out? What is this? Hey. Oh, you're going to throw your Pila. Okay. Whatever. It's one of the weirder things they do occasionally. Right. So, yeah, the Pila throws have successfully driven them off. Good. Really needed some cav now. Okay, good. There's some cavalry right here. Can you guys go over here and take care of this, please? Just keep them routing. Okay, yeah, he's redressing his lines, which is good. You know he wants to do that. We got to get a legion over here. Right, because otherwise we're going to get pretty beat up pretty quick. Redress our lines. Alright, you guys need to come back over here. Okay, good. He's not wanting to come down that hill, which makes sense. Okay. We want to put as many arrows into his general as we possibly can. Just feather that sucker. All right. I think everybody's out of Pilas now. Nah, they got some. It's funny. I mean, we're way into the fight here, and it's still happening. So we need to brace right before he gets to us. In fact, I have missile superiority. Let's just take advantage of that for a second. So get some guys over here so he can't get around so easily. You guys just slowly, I don't want you running. Get exercise. Don't, with, you know. Yeah, okay, that's great. He's going to see. No, there's nothing else coming, it looks like. So we definitely can sit here and just pepper. Yep, all right, good stuff. Come on, guys. Back up, back up, back up. I don't want you to just sit there forever, but there we go. Yeah, he didn't like that. He saw what I was doing. Okay. All right, so they're going to throw. They're going to throw. All right, countercharge, countercharge, countercharge. All right, come on. Get in there. What can we do? They broke. They were too close. They broke. Okay. Enemy general's routing. Nice. All right, I got his general too. That's good. All right, we just need to get his guys all routing before. Yeah, keep hitting him. Keep hitting him. Yes, yes, yes. Arrows. Yeah. All right. And that was a really good move on his part, though. He put enough. You'll see what I mean. He put so much cavalry on that wing that I just had to completely swivel my entire formation to take it. Very good move on his part, though. All right. I should have looked at the scores on that. I didn't think about it. Man, that was fun. All right, let's see what we got now. Nice one. With the cavalry. Good for another. This is old. This is how people used to do it 20 years ago. We're like old. Like, oh, you got a time for another game? GG, man. They can do one more. All right, awesome. Ooh. I really want to try that Germany version against a real opponent. Or do we do Britannia? Or do you? What do you guys want to see here? You would see me doing all these different ones. What do you want to see? Like all my different little options here. So this has no cavalry counter at all, really. That's not what this is about. So if he stays with Macedon, that's going to be tough. I don't know. You know what? You guys haven't seen my uber bullshit one yet. Excuse my language on that one. So let's do the uber bullshit one. I'll just be honest, because it is pretty BS. It's the Parthians, and so this is the dreaded, the dreaded horse archer spam, which is just hilarious to do. So I'm just gonna do this, and so he's gonna play this again, and he's gonna be incredibly annoyed the entire time, right? And I'm just going to be honest. That's how this works. It's incredibly annoying to fight against. And I give this guy as much armor as possible and as much experience as possible so that he becomes much more difficult to kill, right? So you'll notice those chevrons make a big difference. He's already maxed out on armor. So let's give him just enough right there so that he... Yep, there he goes. All right, and then we'll do, I think it's one more missile cavalry we can attack. No, we can't. Well, let's take that away. Because 860 gives us another Persian cavalry. All right, that's good. So this is some bullcrap. I'm going to let you guys know now. It is bullcrap to fight against. It's not fun. So I'm going to see how it works against him. Complete and utter bullcrap. Accurate bullcrap is just a bunch of horse archers and one really good unit of heavy armored guys. So the idea is that you whittle them down with the horse archers, and eventually they'll run out of ammo. So you sort of use them as light cavalry to hold until the heavies can hit. It's something that, interestingly, the Parthians didn't do. It was after the Parthians and the Persians, and I can't remember. It's not really it's almost Sarmatian at that point. So that's why they had a combination of heavy cavalry and archer cavalry. Very little infantry, if they used them at all. So you just run around, just keep shooting at people, being really annoying, and holding them in place until you can hit them with a heavy cav. And that's the entire strategy. And it is so annoying to play against. So we're just going to go ahead and space these guys out. And then here's my super guy right here in the middle. And, you know, they get 2 hit points each. So they're going to be pretty tough to fight here. And then, you know, he's going to have his guys. And then I'll have my guys. And the idea is for every cavalry he brings, I should have 2 cavalry to hit him with. So we'll see. This is sort of like flaming pigs. It's not a nice strategy to use against someone. If you have to play against this as a human in the game, it's like facing the Huns. Just nothing but horse archers and incredibly frustrating to fight against. So I'm going to have my guys. He's going to go right again. So he seemed to put it on this side, the left flank, instead of the right flank. And that's one reason I was able to get over there, because I shielded so well on my right side. So he'll probably do the same thing again. No, he put it behind this time. Oh, we got a bunch of Cretan archers. Okay, we can do that. Except I've got Cantabrian archer spam. So, special ability. Yeah. Hey, Venerus. Yeah, you know exactly the horse archer spam. Worthless is a human being who pulls this nonsense. All right. And these are more Cretan archers. Cretan archers are, to be fair, really brutal to play against. Because they're the best archers in Medieval 2. They're mercenaries, but, you know, he's thinking that he can put them there and just sort of let them do their thing while the pikemen hold me. Almost sort of like an English Agincourt sort of style right there. You know, you let some people really do some nasty stuff while... Come on, what you doing, guys? Use your circle, right? And I'm just going to start pumping them in right there, right? Let's see. Phalanx pikemen. Yep, so that's what I was saying. You'll see he's trying to get around behind it right there. He's going to make a really tough wall to get around. So you know what? Instead of fighting this, let's not fight this at all. We're fighting the front of people. So we're fast. That's our thing. So we're just going to keep running around right there, right? That's the idea. I mean, that's why you have horse archers. They're fast and they're light. And so eventually I'm going to be able to get around behind him here because this is a big map. Is at the edge of the map. Oh, man, he's going all the way to the edge of the map. He knew what I was trying to do. All right, it's cool. Let's see if we can punch it right here. So I'm way off on his side. And we'll get our guys, and we'll just drop some arrows right into these guys. I mean, really rock into him there. You'll see him start to thin out. Yeah, but unfortunately, those phalanx pikemen just have so much armor, they can just keep taking it. Oh, he's going to envelope me with the pikemen. Watch this. So he's going to start moving them to right here so that I have less and less places to sort of move against. Come on. I just got to get him weak enough that, yeah, see that number dropping right there? So they're losing 2 men a second right now because an entire horse archer army is just crashing into them. Now what's going to happen is I got to get these guys ready, nice and ready, so that when they drop their formation, it'll go right through them. Yep, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So they're actually so close to the border that they can't do their ability. I think it's what's happening right there. All right. That's pretty weakened. Yeah, he's got his guys really super thin now. And this is a question that I'm not sure about. I don't know at what point they instant kill and what point they don't. So we're going to try it out, and we're going to see what happens here. Because theoretically, they're out of formation because there's so many people dying. So I should be able to punch right through in the next couple seconds because they should be out of formation. Now we're going to see if it instantly kills or not. And it did not. Good. Instantly wiped. Good, good, good. All right, that did what I thought it would. Right. Come on, guys. Go through, go through, go through, and you need to start shooting that general right there. Start shooting that general, which is what he wants to do, and what I want him to do is to hold his guy right there. Okay, come on. Hit that general with everything you have. Come on. Got to get him back now because he's getting hit by so many arrows. All right, good. Yeah, pour some arrows into that guy. Because he's thinking that, oh no, he's still got superiority, he's still got all these troops, which is not the point of this formation at all. This formation has one thing to do, and that is shoot that guy. And you need to stay back there, though. I'm very tired. Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah, come on. Just run through here. Let's not mess with any of this right now. Just come through the other side. You guys need to get through, because otherwise you're just going to get trapped again. What are you doing? Oh, that's on. Sorry. Oh, no. It's too late. They didn't make it through. What are you doing? Go, 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 go. It turned off fire at will. That was the wrong button. That was the one I was looking for. Come on, guys. Go, 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 go. What is the problem here? They really don't want to path up there. So yeah, I think our general's going to die before they get a chance to really do anything. Come on. Come on. Do it, do it, do it. Ah, nope. Didn't hold them long enough. Yep. So what should have happened? Yeah. So he didn't have enough health to hold it. Yeah, it's not going to be enough to actually get through his guy, unfortunately. No, all right, that's okay. I just wanted to do it to see horse archer spam because it's a very silly strategy that has its place, unfortunately. And see, they're still holding. The general died, but the actual unit itself is still doing great. It was a great formation as Parthian and Cretan archers. It's much closer to just like a medieval style of having a really heavy front line right there. I think, that's the reason you use these accurate tactics. There's a reason they did it that way. All right, guys, I need you to not do that. You're just wasting arrows firing into the front of these guys. So the advantage of the Cantabrian circle is that you're constantly moving, so his archers are not hitting me as often. So that's the real advantage of it right there. And he's trying right now to get into a point where he can keep peppering me, which is why he brought those guys to begin with. They really just don't want to move though. I think that circle formation is really throwing them off. They keep backing up and trying to shoot. Starting to run out of ammo now too. All right. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this guy now. All right. We'll just crash our way in. Let's see if we can swarm him, actually, because he's coming around this way. I think they're still firing as they go. Yeah, they have fire and move and all that, so they're still returning fire as they go. They're interesting. I mean, considering how cheap they are, I mean, that's clearly supposed to be the cornerstone of how this faction works, is, you know, having an archers like that you can sort of run around and do whatever you want with. All right, come on. All right. I think his pikemen are going to set before I can get there. Let's find out. Come on, guys. Go around the edge. Don't do that. I see what you're thinking. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Absolutely pointless battle. It's interesting, though. You know, clearly, I've lost this a long time ago, but it's still not over. You know, there's a lot that can be done to sort of help it out. And if I get a lucky shot in its general, I'm just not sure his guys can keep up. But my guys are all exhausted right here, so. Yeah, he agreed. It's like, speed this one up a little here. Come on. So he's just trying his level best to keep his guys away from my horses, is what's happening here. Which, I mean, obviously I can't do, so. Where are these guys? Hi there, random dudes. You know, even with just incomplete horse archer spam, you know, I mean, did far better than you think it would do. Flaming pigs, obviously. Flaming pigs and peasants don't quite have the same chance there. Deep tactics, yep. Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna... Don't know why they're not doing that. I think he also thought it was over. Yeah, there it goes. You've been clearly defeated. Yeah, no duh. All right, if someone else has got it installed, we should be able to game now. I think Melkor said he's done. Horse archer spam is no good. Yeah, those pikes, man. The pikes are hard to get around. I already left. But thank you so much for playing, Melkor. If you happen to see this, I really appreciate it. It was nice to have something else. If anybody else wants to pop in, it's open. I think I got one more game left in me. So, those were two. Hey, thanks, man. I'll cheer for you during the ERAS Clash event. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to have to fight a House of Julii, so I want to try the German tactic we tried earlier to see if it can get through those. See if it can actually get through them like I suspect it can. So, chosen guys, Axon, I mean, that worked pretty well, so we're going to try it out. Sure, they're setting up their army. If they've been watching, they know what works and what doesn't now. So yeah, it's funny. You would think more people equals better, but that's not always the case here. I mean, it's nice with the pikes because you can get super wide and almost make a box around yourself. But unless you're camping, I mean, it's kind of hard to do that. So he made a box and sort of forced me to navigate around it. So his idea was to keep me in front of it until the Cretan archers did their thing, which is a good strategy. Honestly, I think it's worth exploring, you know, just something closer to like an Agincourt style formation, like give it a V, so there's clearly like a place that it wants you to funnel into. It's funny how these historical formations work. I mean, there's a reason they worked at the time, right? The one I've never been able to figure out is Carthage. Carthage is tricky because it requires the elephants, and the elephants I've just never have gotten to work appropriately. Regular archers are really cost efficient on low funds. Good to know. Okay, so versus Cretan archers. Milkor said, the moment I saw Parthia, I knew what you were going to do. I'm like, yeah, that's Parthia. Okay, so here are these guys in the phalanx. Here are these guys. So I'm going to, yep, they're all pretty good. So honestly, let's put them right there to start with, right in front. Oh gosh, it did the thing. Okay, and then we got our barbarian warlord, and we got our axemen here on the side. We got our other axemen here on the side, and then we got these guys in the middle. We got these guys in the middle. So these are here to sort of surprise people and do some fun stuff. All right, G, and then lock, and then we're good to go. Let's see. With Rome, he's probably going to bring some cavalry. He's probably going to bring onagers. Everyone always brings onagers, thinking the onagers are going to be clutch, but I've yet to see a game where the onagers are clutch until they're not. So its thing is like, if the onager gets that one good shot off, it's totally worth the price. But otherwise, it's just not worth the price, right? And so you're sort of stuck with it. Actually, can I? Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys are hidden or not. I don't think they are. That's one thing you can do, is you can hide people in the woods. Which is a pretty fun thing. All right, so he's trying to do that depth formation like I was trying to do earlier. So let's, nobody to run. Nobody run. Everybody walk here. There's really no reason to run and exhaust yourselves. Okay. Everybody chill. Okay. So we got some legionary cohort, archer auxilia. This is a good formation, right? And some Samnite gladiators in the middle, which are probably his general, if I had to guess, unless he hit his general on the trees, which would be a good strategy. But for right now, we know those gladiators don't have shields, so if we hit them with arrows, it should start to soften them up there. So that's what we're going to do. Kind of do that. Our archers are going to win the archer battle. We don't have to worry about that. We actually set the formation to loose, so we're even taking less archer damage because he's starting to target them at the moment. That's fine. Okay, axeman here. Axeman here. Just let this keep going for right now. I mean, we're definitely winning this exchange of archers, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, no need to run. No need to run. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Okay, right, so our guys are still shooting in, hopefully. Did we stop shooting? Okay, I see his arrows. Where are my arrows at, kids? Ah, they were on the trees. Ah, nice. Good bait, man. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, you guys don't need to run away, though. I should have turned that off before. All right, that was a lovely bait. Nice job. Okay, so let's put you guys back in tight formation because I need you to really fight. Yep. So this is the beauty of chosen archers. We should be able to still do something here. Even getting surprised like that. That was nice, man. Good job. And it's funny because I said it too. I'm like, you can't be in the trees. It's too far away. You're totally in the trees the whole time. So there's not a lot of point in holding you right there. Fell for the bait. Oh, gosh. I loved that. That was fun. I want to fight you again. That was fun. Yep. I mean, and that's the thing. It's not a lot you can do at that point. All right. So he's definitely going to try and turn in a couple seconds here. So I need to get those guys ready to go. Try and just keep putting arrows into this until there's not a lot left. So I'm doing a good job keeping the phalanx facing the right way there, but his guys are going to... Yeah, so that should get him in. Hold him again. Right. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have enough guys to be able to push it out at the end. Okay. I would love for my generals guy to rally. That would be awesome right now to get some cavalry back, because they're going right through these guys, but I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, they did! Turn the tables! Yeah, a well-timed rally goes a long way in this game. Yep, that got him too, because he didn't expect that guy to rally. So he's getting ready to plug the gap right there with these archers, thinking that he needs them, and he does really badly need that. Gonna reform that line. All right, come here. See if we can turn this around. I think we can. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. Yeah, he's getting ready to bring those archers, those cavalry around the back of me now. Okay. Those guys are already running? Yeah, they're already running out of the way. There. Okay, yep, good, they're already running. They don't need to do anything else. Just keep doing what they need to do. Come on. Wrap it, wrap it, wrap it, wrap it, wrap it. Don't run, don't run, don't. Come over here. Yep, unlock. Come on, do it, do it, do it. Roll the rest of it. Good, they're all routing right there. That's routing right there. Who's left? These guys. Those are the only ones left. Okay. Desynced. Desynchronized from the host. Resume battle. Without removing the assigned player, it likely alter the balance of the game. So I'm guessing they left because it looked like it was going against their way. They didn't want to get a loss. Fine. That's fine. It was still a good fight. Sure. Let's see if we can still get it. The classic leave before you lose. It's a fun game though, man. I did not expect the ambush. That was really well done. Dug that. Oh, interestingly, it seems like it let them. It was a connection issue or a message or well, it just popped up. You'll see it. Yeah, that definitely. I think it was an intentional desync. That's fun though. All right. Well, it looks like I survived the ambush despite falling for it so obviously. I got baited right into that. Oh, that was nice. But we managed to fight our way through. And it's one of those things that I think it shows the Germans are pretty powerful on that one. I was surprised because let's see who did the heavy lifting for him. Yeah, so those are the Parthian cohorts that definitely did some nice work. And on my side, I didn't check it. All right. Get disconnected. Ready for another. That was a wonderful ambush. That really was. Oh, I fell for that hook, line, and sinker. Oh, I hope I get a map like that. Like, I want to have a good ambush map on someone to really pull something like that, because that's what you want to see is, like, you know, having some people hiding in the trees like that. I would. I mean, that's the thing. It's like he says, "Would you believe it's my first game Rome Remastered in years?" I would, but I mean, it's sort of intrinsic. Like, you remember, you get it back into the gist really quick. So hey, man, if you want to go in again, that's cool. Or you can hop out and I'll grab another one. Let's see. Let's do something. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know Egypt. I feel like the Macedonians obviously are going to get a lot of play, so I've got to find a way around the Macedonians. What's the best archer faction in this game? Like, I just got to find a way to be able to break those. Sure, yeah, I got to find a way to be able to break the phalanxes. I mean, that's all what it's all about. You got to break that infantry line. And I feel like the Romans... I want to try the Roman army again, just because I want to get that right. And I feel like my Roman faction is still the weakest one I have. Yeah, I got rid of those for sure. You guys said the Roman archers are bang for the buck, probably the best. I'd believe that. Archer Auxilia look overpriced for what they are. Ammo, missile range, 170. Yeah. So let's Praetorian cohort, urban cohort, first cohort, early first cohort, light auxilia, frightens nearby enemies and fast moving dogs. Yes, you're so tempted to go heavy cavalry every time because it works and you know it works. Scythia, Numidia, and Macedon for low fun games. So I guess that's the benefit of Macedon, is what we were seeing a minute ago, is if you have that phalanx, you can do something cheap and hold people while the archers really pink at them, and that makes sense. So let's really do something weird here. So we know that light auxilia, bonus fighting cavalry, combat in woods, well armored, right? They're pretty cheap. Okay, so we know these guys are cheap. Let's do something really weird. But their cav are good, right? So these guys also have good cavalry. Right? We got a Roman armored general here, Praetorian cavalry, which can form wedge. So let's do something really goofy here, and then let's do like a really, really good unit of, what's the most expensive thing they have? 1220, 1920, 200, I guess 1220 here. Legionary first cohort. Right, so can inspire nearby troops, can inform testudo, uses a missile weapon before charging. Okay, so let's do another one of those, and then lose an archer. So this should be able to inspire the guys around him, right? Theoretically. And then inspire the ones nearby, and then, what are these guys? Are these still a legionary cohort? Yeah, okay, so we got 750 left. So we can actually add a couple archers back on again. So let's do something really weird here. And then, you know what? Sure, let's just keep, what's the difference between these two? Missile attack 7, missile attack 8, so they get 1 extra. I'm making this way too complicated. Just forget it. Let's just do archer spam. Call it a day. Yeah, there we go, right? Get some extra defense to the general. Good. Sorry about that. I was taking way too long. Yeah, I haven't ever played Scythia, Numidia. Macedon, obviously, I've played. I'd be really interested in Scythia, though, because I forgot Scythia was a faction, because that's when you get your Sarmatians and things I was talking about earlier, like really cheap infantry with the intention of then doing, something else a second ago. I shouldn't have come back here. That was my bad. It's okay. This is a place of death. I'm just gonna deploy right here this time. I'm gonna see the future on that one. Right, so they're close. Can't really do a whole lot else. That's fine. And then we got our archers here, right? And then we got our archers right here. So let's 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys are all group 1. Come on. All right, that's all group 1. So let's get this cohort and put it somewhere near the middle. This cohort, put it somewhere near the middle. And so I think the first cohort is always double size too. That's one of the fun things about legions, is the first cohorts are always double size. So, and it's supposed to be on the flank like that so that it can prevent people from flanking it, which is the idea, right? I mean, that's why it's that way. And then this is my general. Good cavalry on each side. Okay, okay. Disgustingly strong armies are really have to watch out for Britannia. Good to know. Why Britannia? Because of fear, I guess. He says Scythia can get really strong armies, but you have to watch out for Britannia. I'm curious why. So Britannia has the ability to throw heads, which is a morale debuff, and it also has screaming women, which is a morale debuff. And the idea is that it's sort of a morale debuff bomb. And then you can kind of, let's just everybody walk forward now. So the fun thing about a army like this is the Roman army is meant, and especially this one, is like it's going to win the infantry battle, not necessarily the other battles. British warlords are a unit in Rome Total War. I know there's chariot warlords. Is that the same? Because I have a Britannia list where I was playing around with, but it was all chariot based. Barbarian noble cavalry, yeah. There comes his general over on the far left over there. So I'm going to pause you right there because we know that's where we're going to be coming from. All right, and then those guys are pushing through. They're fighting. They're losing a little bit right now, but that's to be expected. They're going to lose. So while that's going on, oh yeah, those light auxiliary are all breaking already. What a waste. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, they're fighting some pretty hefty Germans there. Where was he? He charged into the back of those guys and died. Whoa! So when the auxiliary ran, they ran into him, and he instantly died. And that sucked. Well, there's that battle. All right. I wanted to try something different with the Romans right there, and maybe the British ones, they don't run amok. I want to try Scythia after this, that's for sure. Scythia sounds like a fun one. I'll have to do that after the stream, I guess. It's why I'm some drops. But that's some pretty good stuff. I'm glad to be able to finally get some people here. You notice people do some really screwy stuff every time. You never know what they're about to do. Okay, Praetorian. Let's see what we got. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the screen and that at the same time. I think this is the only cavalry I have left. Yep, and they're not chosen, so let's have to make do. Cherry archers have double ammo. Whoa. That I didn't know. Why did cherry archers have double ammo? You know, I spoke too soon on this. Apparently my guy died, but I mean, the army's still fighting just fine. Those cohorts really are exceptional. You know, I mean, that's what they're there to do, right? You know, let's just go test Udo for a second. Why not? I mean, we have that ability, right? And you know, there's no reason to get shot here. You know, and just pour some bullets into these guys. Somehow, this did actually work. Hello from Scotland. Is that first cohort finally running? Yeah, they finally ran. Okay. Let's see. Let's bring it in here. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I expected this. I mean, obviously the auxiliary ran, so that's not ideal. They got to be able to hold the line, so they're too cheap for what they're actually doing. But pound per pound, I agree. Those Roman archers really are exceptional. Like, we're getting a lot of mileage out of them right here. You know, you would expect them to be able to, you know, not be able to put down that amount of damage, but they really are. Similarly, the Praetorian cavalry here are doing well worth their money's worth. No general dying morale penalty for disciplined units. Ah, okay, so that's what's happening. So the ones that are disciplined don't get the morale penalty. The ones that are not disciplined do. So that's obviously the advantage of not taking a lot of crap units in this one is You also got really unlucky with my general right there. He died at half, so you don't get the penalty there. So that's definitely worth it to just keep up and remember the other ones there. All right, come on, folks. Were these chosen or no? There's Forster. Oh no, Forsters! Ah! I remember that. Don't chase them. They have spears. Haha! I remembered. And these are Foresters as well. Okay, folks. All right, pal, come on. Battle's over here. Oh no, that's a barbarian noble cavalry. So we need to actually get some people over there to deal with that one. All right. Ah! Sped up too quickly. Yep, I was not paying attention, and now I'm going to pay for it. Because that barbarian noble cavalry unit's going to clean my clock if I'm not careful. Because that is exactly what that is good for. Okay, there it goes. All right, come on. Because I'm going to have to do my entire army just like control moves here. There's nothing else to really do. Is that it? Where's your last guy? The foresters are hiding in the forest. Of course they are. That's a silly thing to ask. By the way, Dolphy, you know a lot about this game. Thank you. That has been some clutch information here. Your tips have been on point the whole time, so I greatly appreciate that. Don't tell any of the monsters. I'm serious about that. Anyone watching right now, as I said before, feel free to spy on monsters and let me know what his strategies are. Typically, I find people go with a lot of elephants if they don't play a lot of Rome. I'm not sure he played a lot of Rome. So the idea that you can get a lot of elephants in there is always a fun one. All right, so what is Scythia? Okay, so this is the Scythians. Interesting. So Scythian axemen, I remember having a tough time with previously. I was surprised. Chosen Archer Warband, Headhunting Maidens. Okay, that's light cavalry. Scythian Nobles. Barbarian Warlord. So that's actually a lot of noble women missiles. Okay, that's Cantabrian Circle. Cantabrian Circle. Oh yeah, that is really just like hold them with this and then use these other guys to mess them up. Headhunting Maidens. Yeah, light cavalry, bonus in snow, conform wedge, powerful charge. So we'll start off by doing just a basic, chosen warlord. Why not? But headhunting nobles, are they don't have range, so these are just a light cav unit. 3, 4 for 600. That's dirt cheap. Combat bonus. So this is going to be, they really only have 1 infantry. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the archer guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I feel like, as you said, it's like after that point, it's finding ways to just field as many high-level guys as you possibly can, right? Chosen warlord, barbarian chosen warlord. These are 48, 108, 72, 108. Chosen more nobles. I kind of want to do heavy cav. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeez Louise. Okay, so I think, yeah, we got 380 left. So I'll just upgrade the armor on our main guy here. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll try it out. Battle settings. Let's do a different. I keep doing that same place. Sahara Desert, actually. Cappadocian forests. Marshes. That sounds fun. All right. Sorry. This is my last battle. I'm supposed to meet my wife for lunch 20 minutes ago. And I was like, I'm having fun. So she'll understand. Let's see, because I'm very curious about these Scythians based on what he's saying there. It's like, it makes sense. They're really low funds, and then you put the rest in the cavalry. So as much as possible, you just try and, oh man, that's an entire forest of ambush is what that is. Not good for the cavalry. Okay, so let's just keep them in the middle here. There's no reason to get fancy. All right, and then there, and then we got a bunch of light ladies on the left, or on the right here. And then we got these guys here. And then we'll put these guys here, and then our heavy guy with our other 3 here. Okay, see what happens. It's a lot of cavalry. Actually, I should have put them in the trees to surprise them with them. I can never remember to do that. Yeah, the gold weapons and gold armor on them, because I imagine that's pretty cheap to give them both of those. And considering only 600 to start with, that's what, 300 on top of each. So you expect them to be light cavalry, and then they're hitting you for way harder than you think they would. All right. So light cavalry should be pretty brutal here. And then we're going to pump them in there, and then we'll start moving you guys up this way as well. We're going to keep you guys right here because I assume they're eventually going to try and come around with all that companion cavalry. God, this music hits. Gosh, I keep doing that, man, every time. Oh, no. In the middle of a multiplayer fight. Hold on, we got it. We got it. We got it. There he goes. All right. I clicked too far off the side. My own fault. So my goal here is try and bait him to turn, right? We want him to try and turn so his pikes are not pointing at the guys when they... Shit, that was my own fault. I wasn't paying attention on the right. Gosh, he's got a lot of cavalry right there. I mean, that's an entire cavalry battle right there. You know what? I need you guys to go right here and then get rest of the way in because they are going to need your help. And I'm just going to ignore the phalanx right now because that ain't going to work. Yep, I got caught out. I keep getting caught out, man. I gotta be better about that. Yeah, I bet he is. Those companion cavalry are no joke. Really, it's funny how good Macedon is. Like, for the abilities for what you're getting right there, I think that he's definitely the best as far as that goes. Now, you know, that basic pike formation, which you have to move around, and then they invest it all in cavalry. Because, like, right here, you know, I wanted to send my warriors in, but it's like, you know, there's not a lot of point unless I can get past their other stuff here. Which I couldn't. Keep trying to charge into stuff. That's all I can really do. And you'll see, I mean, they're just like mowing those guys down. He should be targeting. I don't know what he should be targeting, honestly. There's no right or wrong here. All right, horsey, time to get out of the way. And then that's exposed. This is what I was hoping to do. Spent a lot of time doing that, but that's not what's happening, obviously. And that folds, and then that was too slow. So that's completely disorganized now, which is what I want, but it doesn't matter because their guys are so much better. They're not gonna... Yeah, there's no way to do it anymore because, yeah, he's done a really good job. You'll notice he's doing these big blocks instead of the wide blocks. So it's small blocks that are faster to turn. So he's done a very good job of making sure to sort of counter that by keeping them closer together, which is exactly how Alexander did it. He didn't have long stretched out formations. It was tight blocks for easy movement. Yeah, and they're routing, just charging into the back of them right there. You know, that's there's nothing you can do about that one at that point. So that's game over. Really, I can't. There's nothing to counter that. I don't know where his general is either. Don't know. Oh, right there. We can suicide charge into the general, see what happens here. I don't think it'll make a difference, though, here. Because there's too much that has died. Yep. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think the axemen, while cool, they just can't get past those pikes. Yep, that's battle. Go ahead and concede. All right. Well, thank you, sir. That was a good one. That was a really interesting one to sort of see how those pikes are sort of work around. Yeah, I think the Romans can sort of find a way around it, but that's about it. I mean, they found a way historically by just having a lot of different options right there. But I think it's going to be tight. If he goes Macedon or figures out how overpowered the Macedonian faction is, this could be really tough for me. So I got to find some ways to get around Macedon at the same time. GG. Battles. GG, and thank you for the battles. And guys, thank you all for watching. I really enjoyed this. I'll be playing monsters sometime this week in 3 battles. Then they go up the week after that. And then I'll, obviously, once it does in the official channel. Hey, yeah, man, please hop on the Discord and then tell me when you want to play. I got to keep practicing because clearly there's a lot still to learn. I'm not consistently winning here. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I greatly enjoyed this, and I may do another training stream just because I had a good time doing it. Now you guys, a couple of you guys have it installed. I'll be back to do Napoleon later on, about a month, and then, what did I say, Pharaoh, and then I think there's a viewer's vote. Wait at that. I don't know what the last one is yet. Right, and that's the end of today's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Turns out the Macedonians and the Greeks really are the faction to work around in this one, which is good to know. But take care out there. Have a wonderful day, and hope to see you all again soon.